Tama.
Oh, we are ready to get going here.
Alrighty.
As we have finally, y'all have been waiting for it. It is here. It's this match between Turkey and Switzerland. This is the 4th round here. We're currently in the midst of, and hey, Turkey have an opportunity to go up to 3-1, but for Switzerland, they are realistically fighting for the lives here, already 1-2. They need this to even themselves back up and go into tomorrow with some hope hanging on.
Yeah, Turkey have an opportunity here to put themselves in a kind of comfortable position. They've only lost one matchup so far. They are currently 2-1, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Turkey's 2-1, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, so Turkey, if they do win this one, have put themselves in a pretty, good situation to breathe easy going into day number 3. Of course, they do still have to win a couple more games out, but I mean, listen, a loss here would be devastating for either of these sides, really. Switzerland 1-2 right now. They need to win in order to keep their dreams alive.
Yeah, it's be rough. Again, you have this really good support line right now with Ducio and UK. But to be fair, Ayumi and Farouk have been really good throughout the entirety of this week as well. So, like, it's hard to knock either of them right now. And it might just come down to, again, DPS performance. Because we saw some really cool things earlier when we checked in on Switzerland with Sky's Gravity and Heave. But unfortunately, Lucio getting taken advantage of by the other. Farouk popping off big time. Flat's head is taken off as we have the last second stall that hits for a moment. But eventually give it up as Switzerland back off. Turkey starts with the point.
Yeah, they do have that first cap, but it looks like is Malga.
Oh, Nelly. Who just DC'd?
That was
Flat. Oh, boy. Not a fun DC, I'll tell you that much.
Shouldn't be it should be a quick one, hopefully.
This game will still happen as planned. No forfeits, no anything.
Okay.
It'll simply be Braven coming in for Flat for the duration of probably not just this map right here, but I imagine for the rest of the weekend is my estimation, honestly.
Yeah, I would have to agree. There's no way that Flat is going to be coming back. That is that is a story. Wow, my first ever Conference Cup. And there it is. Yeah. Okay. So Turkey going to be having Braven in. We're going to have to see if that substitution is going to put a damper on things, or if Turkey is going to be able to come alive enough in order to get the jobs done. Still, Switzerland going to be running that same kind of composition. We'll have to find out if it works in their favor. Turkey. We do see Braven on that Symmetra, but probably just for the time being going to fall for that Tracer. So are they going to be able to replicate Flax's performance? We'll have to find out.
Well, I remember seeing Braven before, and those tryouts as well did have a pretty mean Tracer, all things considered. So I'm excited to see what they can do in their first outing here today. As, well, we have covered Team Turkey quite a bit. Haven't seen a whole lot of this Braven, but to be fair, happy to be here now. But first fight is very much underway. A lot of poke game happening right now as Farouk caught out. Big shot right there as Izumo throws him over on the point. Tabby trying to run for the lives, but shall not be given away to them as Turkey are going to end up falling over. Switzerland taking your first fight.
Yeah, Switzerland just doing a really good job isolating the players that they need to and getting the job done. The Kiriko dies a little late into the engagement. So now Turkey have to get a little bit of a reset going, and I don't know if this composition is going to work out in their favor. The Malga versus the Zarya is definitely something that they have to wonder about. Also, I think that maybe the bans, if I had... Oh, no, the Devo was the ban. We have the bans. I forgot about that. So, yeah, Turkey going to have to approach this a little differently, but they are coming close to DPS ultra, which could be the turning tables that they need.
100% it is right now. Lethal's already building up super high as well. Braven, and honestly, a lot of people have built up really high already. The problem is that UK is quite a little bit further ahead right now, as big nade right now, and now Lethal is not going to hold back at all. Ducio gets taken out. Everyone trying to run away as far as they can, as Lethal is trying to play these corners the best they can. They're just not getting any care, unfortunately. Ayumi got forced out of the fight, and now it's too much chaos to really deal with right now, because now you have Kusuna Rush just coming up. Cabby needs care, though. You can't even touch this point until Cabby's in a safe spot.
Braven gonna go over looking at the Sojourn, but has to drop back a little bit. And right now, I mean, this Malga is gonna be coming really close, and Kabi has only 40% to this grab. I think a substitution or a swap needs to be made. Otherwise, I mean, they're gonna keep falling over one by one by one. The Zarya is trying their absolute best, but gets shredded on down, and Switzerland gonna be right out front of the spawn doors. This is looking pretty dire for Turkey.
It is looking dire indeed. But hey, all 5 ultimates available here for Switzerland. They gotta be feeling pretty dang good right now. I imagine that the moment they see Cabby, they are going to have this corner pull on them and immediately hit the cage fight on them. There's no reason not to. Yep, Cabby's in it. They're in. They're burnt down. Continued rush might not matter a whole lot here. Lethal's going to try to make it matter best they possibly can, but Braven almost has to focus on getting past his point to be able to focus on getting over towards the objective and make the overtime click over. But it's Braven now who's going to be set up to make that overtime happen.
Yeah, just going to get that first touch and maybe even a flip here, which could be a nice start, as Switzerland going to be going backwards now, going to have to contest with this Tracer, who has that pulse bomb available, which could go quite fat, especially with Ducio on that beat. Both beats going to come through from both sides. Now pulse bomb's going to go out from neither team. Actually, I thought it was about to overclock from Heave. Going to be able to find Braven as this override protocol, not able to find anybody just yet. Nice one onto Heave though, and W trade from the side of Turkey. As right now, nice shots from Lethal there in order to kill Ducio. And so Switzerland actually lose this engagement and use a lot of their ults.
Yeah, that is quite fascinating, honestly, because Switzerland is such a good scenario, but they use all 5 ultimates. Now they have no answer for this Graviton Surge coming up. But the bright side is that EMEA and UK, they are building up very quickly to their next sets right now, which is massive. Sky's Gravity is currently sitting on the back of the point and is going to cause them to give up a little bit of this high ground control as they regroup, taking split angles. Honestly, I love that they're taking the split angle set. This Graviton Surge gets as little value as possible.
Yeah, really good, as we do see Izuma walking to the objective. The grab is still online, however, which could go absolutely massive, but Lethal getting taken down first. The grab is going to come through, connects onto one player. Pulse Bomb's going to be good there, not going to be able to find any picks, however, but that Sojourn is going to eventually fall. Kabi gets traded out, however, so Turkey in a little bit of a dire situation. 3v4 right now, and the rush from the side of Switzerland going to make things a little bit more difficult. So right now, Turkey kind of need to play for another bit of a touch, but with that Kiriko taken off of the board, that was the one ult that was available for Rook, incredibly low. Going to have to try to go for something, but the overtime timer is ticking down, and it looks like Switzerland are going to be able to take this 60% to 99.
Yeah, and Lethal's trying to fight back, give him credit, but unfortunately, Ayumi's right around the corner. Cabby goes down, and unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough. As, yeah, first round will go over to Switzerland. And at this stage of the game, let's be real, Turkey does have to make some level of adjustment because they're definitely more used to having Vlad in than Braven. So it's not a thing of Braven either not being or being good enough. It's a thing about making the adjustments and having something that's going to work for them going forward.
Yeah, completely understandable for them to be in a little bit of a dire situation. I mean, we can see Braven having to kind of take a little bit of an interesting angle here. I just think that the Zarya is not that good into the Mauga. It's a little bit of an interesting situation for them. I think they need to swap that up. Kabi just getting pressured out way too much. Just not able to get the job done. And so I think you need to swap out the Zarya. If I'm going to give my honest opinion, Braven going to try their best onto that Tracer, but it's going to be so difficult with Smalga just constantly shredding through bubbles.
Yeah, I think there's maybe a chance Caddy would have run into something maybe like the Ramatra instead, potentially. That could have been a possibility, but maybe I don't know. We'll see what happens as we're getting into this fight right here. Sky's Gravity is suffering a little bit right now as Caddy makes the way over onto the point. Very nicely so, as we're just going to have to wait and see as there's going to be a big jump. And, oh my god, Cabby has literally jumped. There's no other way to put that. And, yeah, I don't think so. I think you need to swap now. I don't care if it's like the Diva. I don't care if it's the Ramatra. There's got to be a better option here.
There has to be. I mean, you're just not going to be able to build enough charge in order to get anything done. As Lethal gets taken down, Braven is next to fall, and so Turkey has to do a little bit of a reset. Their supports are able to get out, which is quite nice, but I mean, unfortunately, they are going to be losing that percentage immediately. This has to make some changes up, or else Switzerland are going to take this in a pretty quick fashion.
Yeah, definitely so. We'll see. Cabby's and the biggest thing is that Cabby's just struggling to generate any real ultimate charge at all. You can get some charge in, obviously, get your particle beam up there. Particle cannon, I should say. But it's rough. You can't even really get it properly into a fight. You have to count on Lethal or Braven finding somebody or, like, dealing enough damage to force everybody back. And that's not enough for the average fight, unfortunately. You need more than that. And Lethal is going to be able to pop around the corner right here. Everyone is going to try hiding away. Ducio cannot accomplish such an act right here. You're going to try to run back, find the direct over onto Heave, who is playing the 80 strafe game. Unfortunately, is not going to win it here, as it's going to be a 3K for Lethal. This guy's grabbing the last one alive. They'll be able to get this thing out to a whopping 59%. To be fair, all things considered, not bad, especially when they haven't really used anything yet.
Yeah, really good stuff there from the side of Turkey in order to get the job done. They did have to pop one of their ults to get it swapped over, but Switzerland now coming up on 5 potential ults if they play slow enough. You have to be a little careful if you're the side of Turkey. This pulse bomb could go... Okay, nice one clip onto Ducio. It's going to definitely slow things down for the side of Switzerland. They might have to just sit in this choke and wait for their Lucio to come on back.
Yeah, and now you have a double Kitsune fight coming up here. Both tanks are now very dead even with their ult charge as well. You see Braven moving in, thought about it, realized that the cleanse was still there, had to simply pull back on that one. And Sky's Gravity might have to worry about the same as they are going to have to pull back as well. And Yukai, Ayumi, both going to let things loose. Cabby is currently fighting for their life right now as the Battle of the Tracers happens on the outside. Eventually, one going to have to simply get out here. Big grab comes online, traps him in, and that prevents all the damage coming through from Cabby to the grab. Unfortunately, I think it's a too little, too late situation. Farouk falls, but Izumi may have double support sitting by, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to sustain through all the chaos. And apparently the answer is, it might just be Ayumi eventually gets the finish. The question is the damage already done?
Lethal finds another one on Duducio, and it looks like this Kiriko is going to be the next one to fall. Ooh. And it's going to be a nice trade from Skip Gravity. Eve also alive. Wait a minute. This could go the way as Switzerland's DPS are still alive and well, but Farouk able to find one. The pulse bomb goes on, but the bubble... Oh, the bubble a little bit too late as it does look like Turkey going to fight their best, but they are going to have to give up this point.
That's crazy how back and forth that ends up going. We've seen chaos like this throughout the entire weekend, quite frankly, but that is a really good example of it right there. But now Ducio has Sound Barrier online to match Farouk's. Turkey also is going to be able to let things loose pretty shortly with the second override protocol coming online for Lethal. Lethal has to play careful though as he gets taken out of the sky just like that. And now the question is, does Lethal even need this to win the fight? And apparently their side, they need Sound Barrier. It's going to be thrown directly back in. And now you see the separation over onto Izumo right now, who's getting really low. And they're going to invest ultimately. Lethal has no care sitting by. So unfortunately, that gets no value. Now Turkey is struggling big time just to stay in this one. But the flip does come through momentarily, and Turkey desperately needed that.
Yeah, but it's going to be a problem now. The flip comes back almost instantaneously. Kabi is dropping incredibly low, going to be taken out of the engagement. So now it's a problem as they are going to try their best in order to stabilize and get the point to get us high up. But it is going to be in the last fight territory, and there's no ults from the side of Turkey or Switzerland. It's going to be all down to the neutral, but I mean, Farouk gets that first touch, not going to matter all too much as Lethal already taken off of the board. I mean, this is looking like it's going to be, Switzerland take this in a 1-0 fashion. Beautiful stuff from Switzerland. That is a little bit of a problem there for Turkey.
One could definitely consider it an issue. Definitely so. Yeah, that's your first map done, Dustin, and it's man, it's rough at the end of the day. Lethal put up nearly 15,000 damage, and unfortunately just didn't end up mattering too much in the grand scheme of things. Oh, that's a rough one right there.
Yeah. Benetton OW, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome on in, or just go right on back over to me. We're just here for the Conference Cup. A couple more games left. I think it's 4 more left, if I know my math correctly.
Yeah, because we're the last one on this set currently, and then we have all the other games that'll also take place. I don't know if they're going to wait, though. So there's a very likely chance that we're just going to have to stick with this current schedule and just roll into Belgium, Latvia. There's a very high possibility that will be the case.
Yeah, I mean, the other sets should be going on, right? Are they going to wait for us?
Oh, no. So what they did, actually, they adjusted time. So now time for these games won't start until, for us, it would be 1:25 for these other games.
Okay, so we just have to wait for Turkey versus Switzerland?
It's not necessarily about waiting for them. It's just that they moved back the time because remember we had all the delays because of the scheduling. So they pushed all the games back about 25 minutes.
Okay, so we're not going to see Italy versus Czech or Israel versus Bahrain for a hot minute now. Okay.
Yeah, it probably won't be until around this game is over. But the question is what happens now? Because now you're forced to make these adjustments if you're Turkey. You have to. But
yeah, a little bit of a daunting challenge.
Yeah, it's an adjustment regardless. So the bright side is that having Lethal in still definitely still makes it a slightly easier job to deal with, but it doesn't make it easy by any stretch of the imagination. Again, you look at what Switzerland did in that game right there and how much they were able to consistently stay on all of Turkey right there. Because no matter how good they were doing, it's still someone like Eve or Izumo that was still shutting people down consistently. I think UK and Ducio, again, I talked really big about their support line for a really good reason. They stay alive very consistently, and I think their ultimates were really excellently timed as well.
Yeah, we can take a look at the standings while I guess we do wait in between these maps. We can just take a little bit of a gander here. Germany and Poland going to be on that 4-0 record. They will be going against each other tomorrow, first thing in the morning, 8 a.m. I believe is the start of tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yep, sure thing.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Germany and Poland, yeah, 4-0 right now. A beautiful start for them. Austria, South Africa, Portugal, all in a 3-1 situation. Turkey right now trying to fight to join that group, but of course already down one map to Switzerland. Iceland, Ireland, Netherlands, Estonia, all going to be sitting at a 2-2 record. I don't think any of those teams have any more matches. No, they don't. Okay, so is going to be that situation. Greece already the only one that is going to be confirmed 1-3 going in, but we are still having a couple more matches between the Czech Republic, Belgium, Switzerland, Italy, Bahrain, Israel, and Latvia. They still have to complete their games in order to determine, who's going to end up 2-2. And 1-3 or 0-4 would be the worst situation to be in. If you're 0-4, your chances are pretty much done. Honestly, it's already really difficult for Bahrain or Israel or Latvia to make it to the next stage because we only allow the top 5 teams in out of 18. When I show scoreboard, my friends cuts. Is that true?
When you show that specific scene, yes.
Oh, it does. You're right. Wait, you are so right and smart. Hold on. Wait, I can copy that in. Hold on. Paste. Okay, wait. They should be. Wait, let me transition now. Okay, there we go. Okay, now they should be able to hear you. My apologies. I just completely forgot. But yeah, I mean, it's allowing only the top 5 teams to make it in this EMEA Conference Cup makes things really difficult for once you do have 3 losses, even 2 losses is making it a little difficult. You can definitely come back, I think, if you have 2 losses, but it's going to be so challenging because you said like only one of these teams is going to remain undefeated potentially. It's looking like Germany's going to end up going 6-0 potentially. I mean, there's not going to be another opponent for them going into round number 6 because they'll probably one of these teams is going to end up 5-0 and there's not going to be anybody else that's 5-0, so they're going to have to go against somebody who's
they'll be a 4-1 opponent, and they'll be playing in that if they remain undefeated on the first set tomorrow, they'll be playing in like the very last match of that. So yeah. We'll see where it goes from there. But it's a scenario where we're just gonna have to wait and see how the results are gonna pan out. But again, this is still big for both of these teams because it's very much Switzerland fighting for their livelihood and Turkey who are still fighting for like that aspect of having a 1-loss record, which would guarantee them safety for the qualifiers coming up. But if they go down to 2 after today, they are going to need to regroup, refocus for tomorrow because they'll have to go undefeated tomorrow at that point. You feel like they almost already have to. Elsewise, they are going to be fighting with their lives on the line on a consistent basis, like some of these other teams have already been doing today, and you don't need that chip on your shoulder.
I thought you said that the matches were getting delayed to 125. Italy and Czech are going in right now.
The schedule lies to me then. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I guess I can. I mean, I don't necessarily need to throw it over, but I mean, if we want to watch a little bit of Overwatch while we wait for the next one, here we can. Here, let me know when it's live, but I'm gonna throw it.
Yeah, it's just slapped on my main monitor like eternally.
Watch a little bit of Italy versus Czech for the time being. Italy does seem to have an advantage, but are these correct teams? Wait, is that a swap? Lights on support for some reason. I thought wait, I'm so confused. Light is their tank player.
Yeah,
they put Light in on that's really interesting. But Mikik's going to be able to find 2 picks. I'm probably going to casually watch this one. It's not the Turkey game, so it doesn't matter all too much. Camaro finds a 3K though. This is looking like a quick one.
We'll see.
A lot of ults also from the side of Italy. This could be a problem.
I'll find out very
right
quickly.
now. What's that?
Oh no, I'm saying we'll find out. We're gonna find out very quickly. Quite honestly.
Wait, Cage is gonna come through. Oh, but he gets pinned.
I've seen one of those
that's
before.
a nice pin.
I've seen one of those before.
A pin cancel onto a cage is definitely wow. You don't see that every day.
Yeah, I'm not trying to gaslight myself, or not gaslight. I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I did do that during the official, actually.
Chills. Literal chill. Okay, wait, hold on. Don't talk to me until I've had my my fat shatter here. Hold on. I'm waiting for Graka. Hit the shatter. I know you want to. Wait. They don't know. They're in white right now. Wait, teleport him. No. I'm like the devil on his shoulders. I'm just trying to make a bad play here.
Oh my god, why? Don't put that evil on him.
Pulse bomb. Comes out. Not going to be able to find anything. Both beats are utilized. Shatter, bang! But the Suzu's good. So, well, they got one.
We like shatter. We like the shatters in this household. The Suzus do not, and now Broba's just kind of cooked right now. What are you supposed to do in that scenario? What are you supposed to do as a Reinhardt? The answer is nothing. There's nothing you can do. This is this is pretty back and forth still. I don't know.
It is. Ozono and Chimera gonna find just respectable picks, and so this could actually just be. Days! Oh my days! That was a beautiful prediction onto that tracer. That was disgusting.
If for real is, that's crazy.
Whoa! No! Italy, they lose their rush. How many Ajaxes have we seen? There's too many.
Well, you know what sucks? This is really intense and all, but the other game is getting going right now. Oh my god, it's time. It is Dirt Gaming time here for Turkey.
Shut up.
Dirt has swapped in for tank over Cabby.
Wait,
also, Sir Gibson is now coming in for DPS on Switzerland. So, a couple of changes. Both sides making the adjustment. We'll see where it goes from here. But Dirt Gaming, I think, playing for the first time this weekend.
Yeah, I think right now his Wikipedia does say has not. Yeah, DNP right now. So they're gonna have to change it after this one. But
Insane,
also lethal on Widowmaker must mean an Emre ban, right?
Very high possibility, especially with them the way they are. But I don't mind it, honestly. Take it away. It's been really devastating, and Lethal can do just as much over on this Widowmaker.
Yeah, we'll have to find out here in a couple of moments, as here's the Widowmaker going to be trying to go for a little sneaky beaky shot, not going to be able to find it, has to back up immediately, and I like the composition from Switzerland here, where I have to see how Sir Gibson on the Reaper does.
We'll see where it goes from here. I do like for being over on the Wuyong now instead, I will say. Pretty fascinating to me. The Wuyong has found, I think, a good amount of value throughout the weekend. Farouk has been one of the better ones I've seen as well. But this is really about just supporting Lethal and Braven as much as you possibly can. And with Dirt in, you get that little extra element in there that can cause a lot of chaos. It can make it really difficult for Switzerland to do what they want to do.
Yeah, if I had to take a guess, I would probably say that the ban is on maybe like a Tracer or an Emre, and then also the Lucio ban probably taken out of the equation. But Lethal does find that opening kill onto that Ramattra there, so it's a 4v5 situation in which Switzerland don't have their tank. That's a little bit of a problem. A nice kill from Braven there onto Lucio makes it a 3v5 as, oh my gosh, the Reaper, oh my god! My Genji, oh my Genji, oh my Genji, oh my god, he's alive! Oh my god! Wait, Dirt, where'd you go?
Absolute insanity. Like, what are you supposed to do there? Somehow survive through all that chaos. I don't know how you do it. You found a way. And now, things will slow down once more, and this slower pace is exactly what Turkey's going to want here.
Yeah, especially down their tank right now. They need to wait for Dirt to come on back on that Domina. Oh, nice shot onto that Sojourn. A beautiful shot from them in order to make it a 4v5 situation here. Another dink onto one. I mean, this is a tier 1 hit scan player at their full potential on this Widowmaker for a good reason. As right now, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here as Dirt takes a lot of poke damage.
Oh, an absolute ton of poke damage. So, but still, someone's got to eventually try to shut down Lethal. And looks like it is going to be Sir Gibson going around and trying to find that shot right there. They know it's destroyed, hanging around there. And you see, I love it that Ayumi's hanging around with them because now there's nothing Gibson can do. Not a thing you can do in that scenario. And no one can even touch Lethal right now. Still getting like occasional pot shots, but otherwise it's just kind of just rolling back there.
Yeah, all right, I've seen enough. When SSG go to Tokyo, get them on Widowmaker. I've seen enough. No, I do think that right now this is a really nice hold from the side of Turkey here. A lot of ults, though, coming online here for the side of Switzerland. They have pretty much all 5 in the bank. That could be dangerous for Turkey, as they don't really have a lot of responses of their own.
Yeah, Banana Blade is ready to go. We'll see if Braven can do here in this big game he's been thrown into. Managed to get rid of 1. It's going to be the rundown. It's going to get rid of 2. Izmo, though, thinks this is winnable. Unfortunately, it is not, as it's going to be a big cleanup coming through. Big Blade there coming win from Braven right now. Again, trying to come in here, make something work. And so far, it is as Izmo forced to swap to the Diva.
Yeah, really, really good fight for Turkey. They did have to pop a couple of things as the Nanoblade coming out. What year is it? Can we get a fact check? Because it's not feeling like 2026 with Nanoblade coming out to win a fight. But Switzerland still have a ton of ults. They still have both their DPS and both their support ults in order to get the job done. But we're approaching last fight territory, so they need to utilize some of these in order to get, this first checkpoint unlocked.
See what they can do as Farouk's head is taken off. Dur gets the Panopticon eaten away in this fight. Maybe worst case scenario, as they're going to keep getting shut down one after another. Lethal is going to use the sights. Unfortunately, this is not going to matter a whole lot here as pick from Ayumi. Lethal trying to find literally anything. Unfortunately, nothing going to be found as they're going to have to back out of there. I mean, your single bright side is you get both of these support ultimates out, and Izmo is still out of the mech.
Oh, yeah. I mean, probably just going to get taken down here unless Braven's not able to secure that kill, but the hope is you get this Diva, but I mean, this entire time right now, they're just out of mech, so you can technically retake positioning for Turkey here as Sir Gibson going on a dastardly flank here with this Reaper ult. That could be devastating. They still have 2 ults in the back pocket for Switzerland, and both of these DPS ults could go absolutely massive as Turkey don't really have anything to respond.
Yeah, now you're waiting because you realize Ayumi's hanging back there. Has to sleep at any time. As they're going to TP directly onto the other Reaper right there. Honestly, I don't hate it at all. Ayumi's all on their own lonesome, and that's going to, unfortunately, be critical as she will go down. And that's going to be potential wipe coming through as Braven down, Farouk and Lethal only one's in there. But to be fair, it's 2 really dangerous people to have to walk into, especially as Izmo is close to going down. They're going to use this. Honestly, what it does is it forces them out. It gets rid of Ducio. These 2 are clutching up big time here.
Farouk is just going nuclear on this Wu Ying. You said it before, they're looking like one of the better options on this Conference Cup roster. Ew! Oh my days!
Nasty!
Oh my lord have mercy! He just takes off, heaves his head. Oh my, I'm about to heave watching that. Is that anything? I don't know if that's anything. But a really good hold there from Turk. Oh my god. He just doesn't miss your head. That's crazy. Still holding on to both. Okay, Switzerland's holding on to these DPS ults way too long. They built up another Nanoblade, and they're still holding on to these.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. As thank you, Buffering. I appreciate you very greatly. So, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're kind of in a rough scenario right now where you're running out of time. Only a minute left on the clock. Speed in, trying to find anything right now, but Nanoblade is ready to go once more. I know Braven is waiting for the opportunity. Everybody is grouped together. The question is, when are they going to pull this trigger? The answer is, we're doing it now. And Sir Gibson is gone. Braven cuts through a 3-burger, hoping to get a big 4K. Izmo out of the mech is going to get staggered to Kingdom Come.
Yeah, oh my god. Run, run, Anna, run! Gets killed by a sleep. Oh, that's unfortunate. As there's 30 seconds left on the clock, they're still holding on to this overclock as Lethal is going to be pressured out a little bit from Sir Gibson, who has swapped over to that Tracer. But right now, it's looking like Switzerland have the advantage. They still have these ultimates online, but they actually have to press their Q buttons. Otherwise, they could be stopped right here, right now.
That they 100% could be right now. Comes down to Heave to make this happen, quite frankly. Because elsewise, I mean, Izmo's not going to do it with the bomb, I don't think. I don't think we live in that day and age anymore, as Dirt Ian over on the Sumatra is going to be able to pincer them down big time, but it's going to get pushed back as well as Overtime is going to activate here. As a lot of the high ground has to be given away. They're forced back. Braven, big deflect, unfortunately, is going to be burnt down anyway. No ultimates online yet for Turkey either, so Dirt, biggest priority is staying alive, maybe being able to build up to a little something coming up here with the Annihilation, but the rest of the team is being forced back around the corner. Everybody is desperately, though, they're trying to care for each other. They're somehow both still up. Unfortunately, they're going to fall, and I think Dirt investing here would be worst case scenario, as they will die. They won't get the chance. Braven does have a touch, but is it even worth it? The answer is no.
Wait, Lethal's had access to Emery the whole time? I thought Emery was banned. Why have we been on Widowmaker? Okay. Well, that's
no,
gonna be a little
the
bit of
bans are Sigma and Lucio, apparently.
They are? I mean, I see the Lucio ban and the Sigma, they're a little bit of a...
Sigma's really good on this map. I don't know. I can see it.
Yeah, Switzerland still have a lot on the table. They are doing a really good job winning fights without having to use ultimates, but there's a minute left on the clock here in Turkey. They need to get the job done, otherwise this could be the end of their run. Oh my god, Yuki dropping incredibly low there, gonna have to fight out just a little bit, but in fact he's gonna re-aggress with the rush. Annihilation is popped from Dirt here, causing a little bit of space to be gained for Turkey. They can't really use that rush from the side of Switzerland, as Dirt taking a billion damage. Gets the nano and the tidal blast.
Oh my
so
god!
Everything to Dirt, and it looks like a VMAX from the side of Uzumo, but it doesn't matter because the bomb is still available. The Ray has also been used. Switzerland need to win this fight. They don't have anything on the table.
I really need to see Dirt's mitigation after this, because that is insanity, how much they have lived through, given everything under the sun, but now it comes down to one final fight to see how this goes down. Turkey, remember, fighting very much for that livelihood right now, as a full cap here from Switzerland would be absolutely devastating to have to go through right now, but Lethal, a perfect shot over onto Ducio. Override Protocol is here, and it is here to stay, as they're going to be forced back. Lethal will go down, and a perfectly timed cleanse from UK is going to keep them in this one, as they will commit to the overtime, but big stick of Izumo is going to take them out of that mech, and Verheeve is about trying to be the hero here of Switzerland right now, getting rid of Dirt. That's a great way to get it going, but they need to commit a retouch over on the point. Ducio will be in charge of that, as he has gotten their second of the fight, trying their darndest to bring this back. They've now gotten rid of 3. This has been an insane performance overall here, as Lethal comes out to get another touch over here. Dirt back over on the Doomfist. This is insanity.
Dude, Heave is individually keeping Switzerland's hopes and dreams alive. I mean, just managing to find so many insane picks, gets the kill into Sir Gibson. Heave is finally taken down. The ball is the last one alive, but they're going to be able to stall as long as possible, and Juno is also there to keep the heals going, but they're not even going to be close to an ultimate on the table here, but they are going to be able to find Ducio. The ball is going to eventually fall, and overtime's going to tick away. That's the goalpost set, right? Turkey needs to push to this exact point and 0.01 meters more in order to take us to a map number 3.
Yeah, it is an interesting scenario right now. And to be fair, it's still a pretty good distance, honestly, for Havana, because you basically still have to get, you basically are having to get the full cap in to make this happen. Won't be easy. By the way, mitigation, less than I thought it would have been, but they're both around the same amount right there, with around 12,000. It's interesting. But again, Lethal dominating in damage overall. Braven, those had a really good game. Most limbs in the lobby currently, and somehow has 300 healing on top of that. Heave, get it together, man. But
SMH my head.
0 healing? What are we doing here, huh?
What are we doing?
But we'll see how things change up this time around, as we're already seeing potential adjustments right now. But remember, Dirt and Gang are in the spawn room right now, so don't think too heavily of what you're seeing quite yet. But I think a lot of this could stay, especially Dirt, who brought up the Domina earlier for that initial first point defense.
Yeah, Turkey going to be going over to Lethal, going to be on that Emery on the beginning, and Dirt going to be sticking onto that Domina. So we'll have to see, of course, how this performs. Did a pretty good job on the defense for the first point. Eventually kind of slipped away a little bit from them, especially with Lethal. You know, it's difficult, you know, no matter how many picks your Widow does get in a team place in a situation like this, it's really difficult when you are essentially just down an ult. I mean, Sights is only so useful when Override Protocol is an ultimate that exists on the game. But it looks like Switzerland's going to try to go for a spawn hold approach here, which could definitely go in their favor. And Dirt is on the hog. Everybody care.
Oh my god, yes. Our observer knew. Our observer knows the mission. Switch to the Dirt hog. As Farouk is going to go to the cat. Oh my god, we're doing it. Are we doing what did in the scrims? Is it happening? As Dirt is going to get walled off.
Wait, Dirt, no!
Dirt's gone, and yeah, they're gonna res. Wait, bro, literally goes out of spawn as Mercy, reses, goes back, swabs back to the cat.
They're doing the Germany. They're doing the Germany strat.
Castion, the Castion's here.
The Castion is here.
To be fair, they've seen it before. They face it. They know what it can do. But Dirt, by the way, it's just like a machine taking in so much damage, and this just isn't working at all. Oh my god.
No, Turkey, no, not like this. I mean, they're
Dirt, just go Ramacha, please. I beg of you.
Ramacha, bro.
Just go Ramacha.
Mauga here.
Close enough.
Raven also onto that. Okay, we're getting off the Caston. We're gonna go over to the Wu Ying yet again. This is gonna be a challenge. This is gonna be a challenge, right?
Yeah, big challenge. But the problem is now is he's got to be really careful. They're close to going down. Slam doesn't really get anybody as Dirt is just, again, struggling to stay alive. But even though they're, like, going back and forth, it doesn't matter. Izumo, the last one alive. This card's going to get rocking and rolling. They eventually are going to get cleared out. Some last-minute staggering over on Izumo. You don't mind it, but they're going to go with the farm and actually eventually touch. But to be fair, that is such a success there from Switzerland, taking off a minute 45 from that.
Yeah, and now look at the ults that they've been able to build. They have the Rush, they have the Annihilation, and they're close to a Blizzard. There's nothing in response from Turkey. They have what closest is an Override Protocol. I mean, Lethal has to go nuclear yet again in order to make sure that they can cap this first objective with no oh god, I forgot the term, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you can't run into any issues here. It has to be flawless in how this goes down. Thrown into the corner where everyone is so desperately close to another winner. It's going to get thrown down. UK is literally 1 health right here. Izumo's going to run down 1, though. It's going to find any other context as of this moment, as Izumo going to try to get that other Nemesis form online. Weird timing, though, is Sir Gibson also barely hanging on right now. They need to just focus in on one person. Unfortunately, they haven't managed that yet, but eventually Lethal is going to be the one to pull that one off. Big flick over onto Izumo. They're going to take away this first point. And for them, they're trying to build off of some of the momentum that they just managed to clinch back.
Yeah, Izumo going to swap over the Ramatra to go over to that Diva, and they did pop 2 ults to lose the fight, which is not a great situation, but they still have both their DPS ults on the table and also a Ray online. So this could definitely still be going the way of Switzerland. They have to shut down this momentum. Otherwise, if Turkey managed to get this second point at an incredibly rapid rate, then they're going to have a huge time bank to work with going into that final fight, or final point.
Yeah, Dirt Gaming going to get out of that one right there, but here we go, overclock from Heem to see what they can do. Needs to really find a headshot, gets it directly onto Lethal. Exactly what you need here. And now the rest of Turkey a little separated from each other. Would love to get a little bit more progress, but Braven is going to get shut down as well, and Turkey need to get on the run.
Yeah, Turkey's going to have to back up a little bit here, and those Blizzard is still online, but a lot of ults coming online for Turkey. They're coming up on literally all 5. They have to utilize one of these. Here's what you got to do, right? You have to use one of your weaker ultimates in order to bait out Blizzard, then you kite Blizzard and then re-aggress with your ult. That's got to be the plan here, otherwise this could be a dire situation. But I think the Cage Reaper ult might be the combination that they're looking for, but they are going to be sitting up on point, and there's not going to be any contest right now, which could definitely be in the favor of UK. That May is in a really bad position.
Brace is thrown out. It's going to be thrown directly into the cage fight. Does get onto Dirt, but Braven's going to let it loose. Get rid of Izumo. Gets frozen anyway, but it's not going to matter here. This should be a full wipe coming through for Team Turkey. Now they have 3 ultimates online, but Switzerland does have time for a recontention.
Yeah, Switzerland does have a Ray and a bomb coming online for them. Turkey still have both their support ults and an Override Protocol, which should be so critical for this last encounter. But Izumo with his Diva could go absolutely massive. That Dirt takes 1 trillion damage and has to get out. There's the Ray coming through from Ducio. Going to be matched immediately by the Rush. However, so much damage gets applied to Dirt. They have to kite just a little bit. Override Protocol coming online here. Going to be looking at the cart. Takes down Heave immediately, but the nice kill onto Lethal, but Yuki is taken out already. The DMEC comes through. The bomb is utilized, but I don't think it matters all too much, as they are going to be able to get a re-engage. I don't think it matters as Sir Gibson falls. There's the bubble, and I think that's going to be all that they wrote.
Yeah, it's looking really good right now for Team Turkey. They use everything to get through that, but Switzerland throws everything back right at them, so honestly, it's fine. Now, Ducio's going to go over and match the Wu Yong, and the bright side is that Switzerland does have a Kitsune Rush over on their side, as they're making the full swap. They're going to go the Mauga as well.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to mirror up here, except for the Sojourn on the side of Switzerland. But they have the rush advantage, right? That's something that's so incredibly important to think about. You know, if you're the side of Turkey, you're going to try to have to just force that out and then kite it out beautifully. Otherwise, I mean, that's just a free fight win for the side of Switzerland. And there's not a lot of time left. There is 2.5 minutes, but I mean, one long fight could be the difference maker between winning this map and going down to a 2-2 record.
Yep, lots of low bodies over there as well. You need to be able to hang on if you are Switzerland, but Turkey, they're looking prime. They're looking ready. They want to try to burn through this as fast as they can, but with that Kitsune available at any time, they could run down the entirety of Team Turkey, and that they shall try to do. Dirt immediately gets out of there right there. They're going to try to run it down. Dirt trying to gain all of that healing back as Izumo eventually going to have to back off as you see 2 people in a room, and unfortunately, Braven gets straight jumped, and unfortunately, Farouk is going to try to escape out of there best they can. They'll be able to do so, but Dirt is running out of care. Eventually needs to run once more.
Dude, Dirt is taking 18 quadrillion damage at all individual moments of time. I mean, Override Protocol going to come through from Lethal here. Has to go absolutely massive, again, in order to try to make some space, in order to get some forward progress. The Malga looked at first. Going to be taken incredibly low. Already has that E-Force right now as this Reaper pushed up in a little bit. Zumo taken out of the equation, but Braven is traded next. Ducio, half HP, has that bubble coming online. Switzerland have some ultimates in order to hopefully respond to this. They could potentially reroll, but they're going to be trying to save it for that cage fight that is going to be coming up next, as we are approaching that last fight territory with 1:20 left on the clock and not a lot of meters left to go.
Yeah, now Container Rush ready to go. UK's is not anywhere close. You could potentially just pull the trigger and try to end this thing right here, right now. The question is, will they? As he was going to try to let loose, doesn't find the necessary headshot, gets stomped down, eventually going to falter over. And now Sergis are going to try and find anything. It is every single little thing being thrown in to try to win this one. Izumo is running out of care, though. A perfect stomp. Unfortunately, it might not matter a whole lot. Ducio trying to get out of there alive, won't have the right heave. UK, Gibson, all making a mad dash to get back to this point and trying to prevent this third map from happening, but they're going to be cleared off one at a time over here. Izumo trying to come back over on this Malga. It is so much stall coming through, but Gibson doesn't stand a chance. Izumo's resources depleting away. Ducio gonna fall with them, and Turkey is gonna force a third map.
Oh my god, Turkey gets the job done in an overtime situation, but man, I was clenched. That was an incredibly back and forth engagement. We do see the tab press really quickly. I mean, lethal 23k damage, by the way. Good golly, Miss Molly. As, I mean, really good stat lines from all of these players. I think this one went incredibly close. I mean, unfortunately, Switzerland just kind of, wasn't able to get the job done at the end of the day. But now, map 3, they are going to have a map pick and first ban, so we're going to have to find out, of course, if they are going to be able to get the job done.
Yeah, that is incredible right there. Again, we talked about before, the biggest thing was they needed to adjust to work around Braven, and not because Braven is any better or worse than who they replaced, but it's a scenario where it's just a different style, and they found a way to work with that style. They give a lot more support to something like the Genji or the Reaper, and it works out really well for them. I think they really find a sweet spot in there to work with. The question is, are they going to be able to continuously work with it into the next map, which is the last map of this Turkey for today, Switzerland for that matter as well. But the question is, where do you actually opt to go here if you're Switzerland, and what do you opt to ban? Because I don't know if it's as simple as, hey, let's ban the Malga, or let's ban the Reaper, or the Genji, or the Ana. There's a lot of choices, but I don't know if there's a single ban that is like, hey, this is the correct answer.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is going to, have to determine, I'm not sure at the end of the day. Sorry, I went over to Italy, and they have a Life Weaver right now.
That sounds about right. That's the crazy part. That sounds about right.
It does?
It does. To be fair, Life Weaver is not as uncommon as you would believe, quite frankly. It's kind of weird.
Where are you looking? I don't see Life Weaver anywhere.
I have my eyes in the sky, all right?
What kind of black market games are you watching?
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Hey, we're in good shape right now. We're still rocking and rolling. Third map of the series coming up here. Third and final map, I should realistically add. There are still the other games going on, and how are things going over there? I imagine the two other games have probably been going for a hot minute now.
They are both on map 2 currently. Italy is up 1-0 and Israel is up 1-0 against Bahrain. So both of them are trying to secure the job right now. Chimera, actually, I guess we can look at the Italy game real quick here. I'll put it on. Why not? I'll transition on over. Yeah, I mean, it's looking. We're on Gibby for once. We haven't seen a lot of Gibby at all. As right now, it does look like Italy is about to cap this first point, but it's going to be expensive in order to get the job done.
We'll see what ends up happening. Let's see here. I gotta pull it up over on the side of here, so it's slightly bigger for me. But hey, that's an incredibly quick take. Sheesh. Also, what is that? What is that, like a minute 15 for Czech Republic that I see with the full count?
Yeah, it's a minute and 18 to be precise on them getting a 3 cap. So this could actually also go to a map 3.
I would not be fully surprised.
Oh, that's a huge downpour. I'm surprised too. I'm surprised too that Lifeweaver's in. That was my reaction. I didn't know that was going to be coming out, but here we are living in the world of Lifeweaver on Gibby. I don't know why.
Oh, we'll see. Override protocol. Maybe a little something. Maybe a little something there. I don't know. The override protocols have been very hit or miss today. It feels like, and I think that's the symptom of everyone getting extremely used to playing against the EMEA. By the way,
I think if the diva's on the enemy team, it just like is not going to find a lot of value. Versus if there is not a diva on the enemy team, it's going to find a lot of value.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Lifeweaver, that's surprising. I mean, it's a little surprising, honestly, but it's not like the most shocking thing. The thing is that the teams do tend to opt for that in some regards. It's not a heavy pick. You're not going to see it on stream a whole lot of the time. That's just how it is. Hey, Furret! Welcome! How's it going, bud? Winton Gaming time, it is. How you doing?
Welcome on in to the stream. Good to have you here. We're just waiting on the last map for Turkey to get underway, and then in the meantime we're watching a little bit of Italy versus Czech. Still could go either way, as I mean, I'm Wintoning it. Me too, bro. God, I wish.
I need to just slap in the Winton email. I don't know how I haven't done that yet. I gotta be so honest.
Winton.
Turkey is there's been some shenanigans today for it. It's been a long day already.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, that goes. Oh, what's the next game we're going to watch? It's very likely that because the problem is that some of the other games have already started since Turkey Switzerland is running long. So it's very likely we're going to stick with the Belgium versus Latvia game coming up here, which means
Belgium versus Latvia.
Which means bring it on. We're going to see a little bit more of you.
You'll be on, bro. Don't even worry about it.
We'll have you on here for that next game. As long as you guys are sticking to, like, playing when this game ends. Which, by the way, speaking of this game ending, we're going to find out this ending here pretty soon as we're heading to our third and final map of this one. We're heading over to Runasapi. And with this being the case, Dirt Gaming still very much in the lineup as well. Sky Gravity is going to come back in on DPS to join up with Eve. And all things considered, this is going to be phenomenal. I will say the bans right now. Turkey banned out the Orisa, and Switzerland banned out the EMEA.
Okay. That's not entirely how it works. Every team with 3 or more wins is already in. Not necessarily. No. It's a difficult situation because there are 6 rounds in total. So even if you are currently 3-0, no team is currently 3-0. There's teams that are 4-0 right now, but I mean, if they lose the next couple of rounds, then I mean, they could go down to that 3-3 situation in which they won't make it because there's so little room for error as only the top 5 of these 18 teams are going to qualify.
Yeah, there'll be a much better way to explain it once we are not mid-game, thankfully, but there's a lot of people still in it right now. These two teams right here, though, they are fighting for this opportunity to still be in it, especially Switzerland, where if they lose this, they go down to 3 wins, and their chance of getting through would be essentially gone. But for Lethal's sake, he's trying to keep Turkey and try to bring them to a 3-1 record right now, and getting rid of UK is a great way to get this going right here, as they're going to be pushing back Switzerland super hard, as Turkey is going to get the first progress working here.
Yeah, they're finally going to be able to get some progress. Lethal on this classic Sojourn. With the EMEA off the board, I think it's a really good, strong decision. They're kind of trying to force the mirror, but I mean, you're forcing Lethal onto the mirror, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem, right? Farouk also going to be back on that Lucio. We've been missing them on that Lucio for a time being, but we'll have to find out here as we are approaching this first checkpoint, as Switzerland kind of doing a flip of the map, but this whole time, Turkey have been walking the bot down a little bit.
Definitely so. We'll see how it ends up going down. Sky Gravity's already starting to suffer a lot. The map is like partially flipped as well, by the way, which is kind of crazy how that ends up working out, as Dirt tries to go and run down their counter with Izmo, eventually simply going to have to get out of that one. But because they have, Bot starting to go back the other way. Braven is being chased to Kingdom Come. Has to eventually run out of that one, as Dirt is getting pounced into, and it's looking like Turkey becoming so fragile, like paper mache. They shall fall over as Switzerland will start making some progress.
Yeah, Lethal going to be able to find one on the way out, but it looks like that's all they're going to be getting as finally, for the first time, a fight win is going to be fully recognized as Switzerland looking to try to get the lead here. They might be able to do so as Turkey do have an overclock coming online here, but Skits has that pulse bomb, and there's also an overclock on the enemy team. So we're going to have to find out if Switzerland are going to be able to do it or if Lethal is going to have to clutch up with this ult.
I can hear Malga yelling at push. It's pushing, buddy, I promise you. Filippo's going to go for it. Hanging around in the side room, would love to get on the heat, though. Unfortunately, everybody kind of just runs away instead. Barely is going to miss out there over on Disguised Gravity, as this is still the opening that you need. Unfortunately, good shot over on Disguised Gravity. Again, isn't able to make it happen. Dirt going to pull some bodies in. Izimo there to match. Dirt is just cut off from everybody. As Pulse Bomb thrown to the ether from Braven, not going to get anything. So unfortunately for them, Turkey going to fall further behind here. Izimo shutting down 3 to end that fight.
Yeah, it was really expensive from both sides, both teams using their cages and both teams using their overclocks and their pulse bombs. But Turkey has the advantage in terms of ultimates. Both of them have, or both supports have their ults on the side of Turkey, while it's just a Lucio beat online. We'll have to find out if Braven does swap over to that Reaper off of the Tracer, as they are going in for a recontest here.
The best to be able to pull it up right now. Dusu does still have a beat ready to go, but they get out of that immediately, even though they're kind of in a 5v4. They're not even going to mess with it. They're just going to turn around and just go play for the middle area again because they don't have forward spawns. They don't necessarily have to press it like that.
Yeah, they have all the time in the world in order to make, you know, they have the advantage, they have the lead. Sure, they don't have forward spawn, that'd be in a perfect world, but they don't have to necessarily fight anymore. So they're just going to kite out a little bit despite getting an opening pick. And so they're going to re-engage now, trying to maybe get this forward spawn as Farouk has this beat online, which should be absolutely massive here, as it's really just going to be a beat for beat situation. We're going to have to see who can get the advantage off of that overhealth.
It really about waiting for someone to find that critical shot right there. You're thinking of Lethal can maybe pull it out, gets a nice shot over out of Skies, but again, Skies gets plenty of care, gets plenty of ability to stay into this fight right here. But to be fair, if you're Switzerland, you don't mind just sitting here grinding away, burning away more and more clock, because right now, the way things are, that's what you want more than anything else. The Pulse Bomb will miss out, and now Sound Barrier coming through for both sides. Skies, Gravity, and Braven, only 2 to not get their own connections right now. Izimo in super deep, is in a rough scenario right now, but is able to kind of play indoors, and that helps burn away Dirt, by the way. With Dirt gone, you got to back out. You have to surrender this point more than likely, because they're all going to get stomped down in there as things not looking good for Turkey.
Yeah, they are going to have to do a little bit of a regroup here. Farouk trying their absolute best to get out of the situation, but Gravity is there to kind of make sure they don't. Right now, there's a little bit of a cutoff here, as there's still a couple of staggers from the side of Turkey. They need to get out. They need to disengage, but they're still going in. So Dirt's going to be falling yet again. Braven's going to try to TP out with their life, but they're going to fall also. Wait a minute, there's not actually a real fight from Turkey. They're going to lose the lead even more.
We're going to reach 100 meters easily, man. And now you have a cage fight ready for Izimo. Dirt doesn't have one. Lethal is going to have to be really big this fight, because if this is a fight loss right here, it becomes really devastating. Lethal misses out on that must hit right there, but still, he gets finished off anyway. 102 meters is currently the set right now, as Izimo just likely going to take this L on the point, and the rest of Switzerland going to stall out the point as well. Make sure everybody is going to get those forward spawns together.
Yeah, really good fight win for Turkey there. They do pop that overclock, and Switzerland have a ton of ults in the bank. They have literally all 5 except for, what, 76 to a beat.
Yeah.
Ducio is going to be a little bit behind, but this cage fight is going to be so critical, right? They have the Reaper combination, which should be a better fight win, but they need to force ult out from Switzerland. That has to be the main play. They cannot be behind. Otherwise, this point in this map is going to get away from them.
Definitely would. Izimo still hanging around their mouth. It's going to be double cage available. Farouk, though, has a Sound Barrier on. Ducio is a little bit behind. We'll see what he was going to be able to do. Sound Barrier used immediately in response to that. Ducio now being pushed away as well. Oh my god, Braven, no! You poor, unfortunate soul. Dirt is trying to do everything they can. They're back into the 3-3. As Ayumi is going to pull the trigger on this one, and now they're just going to go commit back over towards the cart. Dirt is currently in a 2v2. Ayumi is struggling to stay alive. Dirt is in a pure 1v1 against a Tracer. I would not want to be either in this scenario, quite frankly, but unfortunately, Skies Gravity's got to do a quick little regroup with a couple of their friends here, as, man, they need some care fast.
Here's the problem, though, is that the fact that Turkey used so many ults, so even though they won this, they have to win another fight into Switzerland's 4 ults?
Wow.
This is going to be an impossible challenge. I mean, this cage fight has to go, like, actually nuclear, but there's no chance. Look at the ults used from Switzerland.
That's everything, by the way. They just used everything during that. And for the moment, everyone's still alive. Braven eventually goes down, so they're going to lose this fight. But, I mean, your bright side is here. You're eventually going to take the L on this fight. But you got every ultimate out. For the next, like, couple of minutes where these fights are going to matter the most, that is pretty important.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's important, but I mean, you're still behind so many meters. You have to make sure that you need to make sure you win your next couple of fights without utilizing all of your ultimates. Otherwise, I mean, this could just be a little lost. Also, they do retake that forward spawn, which is so devastating as it's going to be another close fight. Gravity going to be going around here looking for a pick with this Tracer. Lethal has that overclock online, but Farouk first to fall. That's not a good start as, I mean, this could be going the way of Switzerland again, and there's not many more fights they can afford to lose.
Dude, has been insane this entire time, and Lethal's gonna run in right here. Needs to find literally anybody to go after right now. Izumo's going to go in super deep, gets their head taken off. Lethal gonna go down in exchange, but with the spawns a little bit closer here for Turkey. We'll see how it goes their way as Sky is gonna miss out on the pulse bomb. Dirt is currently sitting in the hole. Is going to be able to bounce out of there, survive. Big stomp over on Steve to take them out. And now the supports on the run. They realize, hey, take these S on the point. Take the reset. Now everybody, again, going to get forward spawns.
Yeah, but here's the problem with the situation that's happening is that Turkey will win a fight miraculously, but the problem is that Switzerland only need to win one more fight in order to take the bot back in towards their forward area. So they need to go absolutely nuclear here and win multiple fights in a row. Otherwise, I mean, this is just going to be, if Switzerland win like 1-2 more fights, it's all but over.
Yeah, and now Overclock ready to go. We thrown right into Dirt's back, but still hanging around right there. Weird trade. Yumi down. Lost out on the Katsune Rush, I believe, as well. Yeah, Katsune's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Now you're in a 4v4. UK is going to be able to deliver theirs right back, and the response might have to be the sound barrier that needs to be saved here for Izumo's cage fight.
Yeah, I mean, the whole time, though, Switzerland was pushing the bot back towards the middle. So there's not going to be any meterage gained, and Switzerland are going to really kind of be able to get another fight in before this checkpoint. They could have potentially gotten it done. But yeah, I mean, Dirt having this cage, the cage Reaper ult coming online here is going to have to go friggin' massive here, as Switzerland are coming up on 4 ults of their own.
Yep, we need something big here, right now for Turkey to get themselves in this one. Now, what's it going to take? I couldn't tell you. Izumo is going to get stunned out, pulled in. He's eventually burnt away. No support ultimates available. He throws themselves in as well, as will the rest of Team Switzerland. But now, think about it like this. You've used the cage fight, and now you have to walk into 4 ultimates again, and you're going to have 2 of your own, maybe 3, if Lethal can pop off.
Okay. Here's what you have to pray to God happens. You need to pray to God that this goes exactly the same way it happened last time. Oh God, please don't get full thumb here. Oh, nice kill. Okay, wait, that's actually a huge fight win or pick to get. But here's what you need to have happen. Switzerland need to pop all 4 of their ults, and you have to pray to God that your 2 are enough. And you have to hope that Lethal can build up the bomb fast enough.
Yep, 85 right now. Izumo, they have so much, though. They are not going to hold back. The longer this goes on, the worse it realistically is for them. There it comes right there. Cage fight going to come through. Farouk does have sound barrier activated. He needs to pull this now. It's perfectly timed. It's going to force them back around. Lethal's getting close, but Braven is already down. And it's Lethal doing everything they can, throwing everything in the kitchen sink at them right now. But Dirt, no health remaining. The support sticking around, trying to remain in this one. Bob is going to be here just in time. Trying to find something, but that Bob is going to be annihilated so quickly. It is just big touches trying to come through, but eventually they'll fall over. Switzerland take a massive win against Turkey, and now Turkey is in some trouble.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate one to lose there. Unfortunately, just a couple of things slipping away from Turkey at the very end there. I just... you know, losing your main flex DPS, and then just not really having to come back. And so now they're going to go down to a 2v2 situation. Here, beautiful stuff from them, and we can leave the lobby, and I'll transition myself over there.
I mean, that is just insane. I don't have too many words for that, because it's rough, because the entire time it's literally Turkey having to fight their way back.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Italy-Czech game. I think map 2 was a draw.
That's insane
Hold on,
right there, man.
I'm finding out. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's no way.
Yeah, the thing is, I will agree with that. They did kind of play this map a little bit. Honestly, it was their ult economy, really, that they really messed up on. There was constant fights where they'd be down, like, 3 ultimates, and there's nothing you could do there. Now, the bright side is Switzerland, like, invested a ton every single time, and it evened itself out, but that's just rough, dude. I don't know.
Dude, Czech versus Italy map number 2 was a draw.
What do you mean it was a draw? What do you mean?
Oh my god. There's no way. There's no way.
Can we get our only 4 map series? Is that possible?
It might be. Did Bahrain manage to take this off of Israel?
Yeah, the thing is, with Gabby, the thing is, Turkey is still alive, but it's going. They might miss out. They genuinely could, but if they win the next 2, they still have a very. I changed the wrong scorecard, by the way. Me dumb. I was like, man, if only.
What is that?
It's a scenario where they can still make it. They can make it 4-2, but I don't know what it's going to take for them to be 4-2. Because you think of the bright side here, Gabby, is that if this goes off a map record, both of Turkey's losses, I believe, ended up being 2-1. So that is going to work out in their favor if it comes down to map score with other 4-2 teams that I think have suffered a lot more 0-2s than anything else.
Also, I think the C stream is done. Israel 2-0'd against Bahrain, so I think that means it's done, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it should be done. Right now,